I'm sure you've heard that one of the most common regrets that people have at the end of their life is that they didn't live out their dreams. Why do you think this happens? Do you think that it could happen to you? I think the reason it happens is actually a little sneaky. People slip into an autopilot mode. I remember once I was driving into my office in downtown Cincinnati, and we were crossing over the bridge, and I was watching all the cars crossing the bridge with me and looking down at the other ones on the interstate below. And I remember thinking that it felt like we all looked like a bunch of ants, all just headed into the main hive. Day in and day out, we do this work thing. And somewhere along the way, trying to manage this and our family and our health, we lose track of what we were working so hard for in the first place. Our dreams fade, we forget about them, and we lose them. I can't tell you how many people have told me they don't dream anymore, they don't have dreams anymore, or that they're too old to dream, which is just not true. As a life coach, I have helped countless people go from feeling like this to being really excited about their life again. Sometimes we just lose our way. What if I told you that asking yourself specific questions can shake you out of the autopilot routine and unlock a future that's so compelling that you'll actually want to jump out of bed in the morning? If you are ready for a positive shift and you're open to getting real with yourself, that's what we'll do here together today. Now, before we dig in, let's talk a little bit about that autopilot feeling for just a minute more. It's not just a slump, it's kind of a quiet warning. And it happens when you begin to feel like life is just kind of happening to you instead of you intentionally creating your life. You get so buried in the daily grind and what everyone expects from you that you miss asking yourself, is this actually the life I want? And the problem with autopilot, it's not just boredom. It's that you're missing out. You're missing out on the little joys, the opportunities for growth, and for your bigger purpose. And when you're on that autopilot, if you stay on it, you're going to find year after year you're exactly at the same spot. Now, please don't take this as an opportunity to beat yourself up. That's not what this is about. This is more about realizing that you have the power to grab that steering wheel of your life once again. And it all starts with asking yourself some better questions. And the reason for this is because we learn from more than just experience. We learn from reflecting on those experiences too. Okay, so let's get started. Grab yourself a journal or maybe a couple pieces of blank paper. Find a quiet corner for yourself. And if you need to pause the video to get what you need, go ahead and do this, but make sure you come right back to me. Don't put it off for later. Let's go ahead and make some progress, some real progress right now. I want you to also commit to yourself to answering all 7 of the questions because each of them is important for a very different reason. So first, I'd like to invite you to just take a moment to connect with your inner guidance system. You may want to close your eyes to do this. Take a few nice, deep, full breaths, and then make an intention to connect with your heart space. Know that you do have the inner wisdom to know what is right for you. And when you feel you're ready, let's go ahead and answer this first question. Not surprisingly, it has to do with fear. And the question is, if I had nothing to fear at all, what would I do? Seriously, think about this. If the fear of failing, of being judged, and all the unknowns just disappeared, what would you go for? What would you allow yourself to consider? This question has so much power because it instantly whispers to what you really want deep down underneath any self-doubt that you might have. Fear, it helps keep us safe, but you have to get outside your comfort zone for growth and for cool things to happen in your life. So what would you do? Would you write that book, learn a new language? Maybe you would even travel to a new country. And make sure you don't get caught up in the trap of making excuses for why whatever you write down is not possible. If there's one thing I've learned in my lifetime, It's that so much of what we think is impossible for us, it's just not true. Time and time again, I find that life really surprises you. Time, money, connections, I know that these feel like real roadblocks, but most of the time, if you set those aside for just a moment, you will find that there is a layer of fear that's what's holding you back. So go ahead and write down everything that pops into your head, no matter how wild it sounds to you. This really helps. It helps get your brain unstuck, and it helps open you to more possibilities than you may be able to see right here at this moment. So question number 2 is about the lottery. I'm sure you've heard it before, but it's a classic for a reason. If you won the lottery tomorrow, if you won millions of dollars, what is the first thing that you would change about your life? Now, I want you to notice that I didn't ask you what you would buy. This isn't about that. This is about what you would do. How would your day-to-day life look differently? Now, this is a really smart question because it removes the financial roadblocks that you probably have in your mind. It's how you see what truly lights you up when you have more than enough money to do whatever it is that you want to do. Would you pour your time into a cause? Or maybe you would spend your days learning or creating something or hanging out with the people you love. There really is no wrong answers here. The point is more to figure out what you truly value. And if your first thought is something like, I'd like to have more time to paint, it isn't that you need millions so that you no longer have to go to work. It's that you need to make time for painting in your life right now. The lottery, really, it's just a trick to help you figure this out. Question number 3. This one delivers a huge dose of perspective. When you look back on your life right now, what would you regret not doing? This really is one of the most clarifying questions you can ask yourself. It causes you to cut through all the trivial stuff that you worry about and focus on what truly is important to you. Nobody's last thoughts in life were, I wish I worked more. We all know that. Or, I wish I had a fancier car. People say that they wish they had spent more time with the people they had loved. Or they wish they had taken a big risk that they didn't take. Or that they were more true to themselves. So what about you? What experiences would you regret if you missed out on them? And when you answer this one on paper, it creates a sense of urgency. Not that you have to go do something right away, but rather to begin to do the things that you need to do to make this happen over time. It helps you figure out the differences between what you feel like you should do and what you know you really must do to make this one precious life that you have truly complete. So on question number 4, let's lighten things up a bit now and think about rediscovering a part of you that's probably been hidden or ignored for a while now. What did you love doing as a kid that you've completely forgotten about? Go back in time, way back before you were making smart career choices and taking care of other people. What did you like to do just because, just for the fun of it? And what did you dream about being? A writer, maybe an artist, a detective? Our childhood passions are often the purest reflection of what we find really fascinating in life. And that part of you often can get buried under bills and responsibilities. Or maybe you were always writing stories in a notebook. Maybe that's a sign that there's a hidden storyteller in you waiting to come back out again. This isn't about quitting your job to do something entirely different. It's more about finding that essence of those childhood dreams. What were they really about? Adventure, about helping people, creativity, freedom. And once you figure that out, then you can begin to figure out, well, how can you bring more of that into your life today, right now? I mean, if you wanted to be an astronaut, you may not be able to fly to the moon, but you could take up stargazing today. These childhood passions that linger, you can find new ways to help you go ahead and explore them now. So this next question, it's a good gut check for your future goals. And the question is this: will this choice that I'm making of what to do help me be stronger, more capable, or more confident? What this does is it essentially shifts your focus from just being all about what makes you happy to being more about purpose. Think about all the things that you've already written down on your paper or in your journal and run them through this filter. Something like, say, traveling to a new country is an example. Well, this would be fun. I would say it also would make you much more confident and independent. Or say you'd written down something like you wanted to start a side hustle. Well, maybe you wanted to do this to get some extra cash, but it also would teach you some new skills, and it could definitely boost your confidence level. This question really pushes you to choose the challenges that are going to help you evolve into your best version of yourself. It takes things from being like a bucket list to more of a roadmap for actually being the person that you aspire to be. If you think about it, lasting fulfillment, it doesn't come just from achieving goals. It really comes from who you become along the way. So this next question is more like a visualization exercise, and that is, what does your perfect average day look like? Not when you're on vacation or you're doing something special, but rather I'm talking about your ideal weekday. From the time you wake up in the morning until your head hits the pillow at night, what did you do in the day? What did you do when you first woke up? Did you get up early? Did you sleep in? What activities fill your day? And what did you do for lunch? Who did you share an evening with? How did you unwind? And what brings you peace? Try to get really specific about this. This is really powerful because it helps you zero in on the small daily habits that are what actually create your happy life. You might realize that a perfect day for you involves a quiet morning walk, or maybe an hour of reading, or having a home-cooked dinner with family. Once you see what these things are, then you can start asking yourself, okay, how can I sprinkle just a little bit more of these into my life right now? I mean, you may not be able to quit your job tomorrow, but you can start making time for these little moments that will bring you joy. And this really is how you build a life you love, one perfectly average day at a time. So our last question here zooms all the way out, and that is, what impact do you want to leave behind? This beckons you to think beyond your own happiness and really consider how your life touches other people. How do you want to be remembered? And what mark do you want to leave on your family, your community, or even the world? This isn't about being someone famous. It's about the impact that you have on others. It can be simple, like maybe your legacy is in the kindness that you show to strangers every day. Or maybe it's raising children who are compassionate and resilient. Maybe it's the knowledge you share, the art you create, or maybe it's helping in the community garden. Thinking about this gives you a strong why for your life. It connects these small daily efforts that you make into a greater purpose and helps you feel the satisfaction of being involved in something that's bigger than you. So there you have it, 7 questions to completely reframe your future. You may want to make an intention to ask yourself these questions again, maybe once a year or whenever you feel yourself like having that autopilot mode creep in. And then also, if you want to go a bit deeper and allow yourself even more ideas for things that you want to experience in this lifetime, I've got a free downloadable for you that I made to help with this. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Dream Bucket List. This guide will help you build a robust list of items personalized to you, kind of creating your own personal roadmap to help you truly thrive throughout your lifetime. And I want to reiterate that it is smart to ask yourself these questions from time to time, as over the years we all change and our dreams change too. And that's part of what makes life beautiful. If we don't do this kind of work, it's really easy to get stuck in a rut. I've certainly been there. And if that's where you feel like you are now, let me remind you that you too can change things by living with a little more intention. Your future is just something that you create by the little things that you do each and every day. Don't let this just be another interesting video. I really challenge you to pick one insight that you've gained from these questions today and then take one tiny step towards it this week. Let me know in the comments which one of these questions hit home for you the most, and what's that one tiny step that you're going to take this week. Sometimes just sharing publicly what you're going to do, it is a powerful first step. It will motivate you to just do the thing and not just think about it. If you've enjoyed these questions here today and you've decided you want to take a look at my bucket list, you may also want to consider giving yourself a little solo retreat to help you find the mental and physical space that you need to really connect with your heart. So if you decide to do this, I do have a great video on how to go about creating a solo retreat that you may want to watch as well. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope this video has inspired you to take that one tiny next step. Because if you do, I know that you're going to take another and another and another.